isn't yours if it was given, yeah.
How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside?
It all started with a word, renewing my mind, cause you kicked me to the curb. Blessings on my ops, our priorities different. You flex it for the fame, get yourself up out my kitchen, huh? That money in your bank don't keep you safe, yeah. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, hey. The power isn't yours if it was given, yeah. They tried to block us out, we in the building. That money in your bank don't keep you safe, hey. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, yeah. The power isn't yours if it was given. They tried to block us out, we in the building.
I'm ready to go, I just look to the sky for my moment to blow. Took all my hustle and hunger, now look at me more, now your nephew was serving to go. Took a long time to see God and put trust in his hands, there ain't nothing he don't understand. Trust when you seek that you find him in everything, honors the one who gave back to say man. Big white dripping like a tsunami, got my enemies falling behind me. If the Father alive try to kick it with me, best believe that I'm catching a body to say he broke every chain. And the old things are passing away. I ain't trying to be cool with the gang, so I stay unashamed to the grave. Giving the message of truth while I'm learning my lesson. There's blessings on blessings on blessings, paving the way for the Father. I know that it's honest, he got in my every direction. He told me to go and I did it. On my grind for the mission, I'm with it. There ain't no weapons that's forming against me. I'm slaying the giants to conquer my city, no cap.
That money in your bank don't keep you safe, yeah. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, hey. The power isn't yours if it was given, yeah. They tried to block us out, we in the building. That money in your bank don't keep you safe, hey. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, yeah. The power isn't yours if it was given. They tried to block us out, we in the building. Man, we all up in the building. You just got caught in your feelings. Too many sticks in the fire, I guess I'm too pushy. But please do not push me, cause I do not play. I got some bros that will slide for me. All I gotta do is say, but I got God on my side. He told me, Billy, just stay in your place, humble your pride. That's what it means when you dying to self, but you growing your faith. Too much at stake, I cannot beef. They want the meal, but I got the meat. Don't take offense, they say that's the bait of Satan, huh? That got me contemplating, going back in my back for the back end. Crunch time, got the captain. I posted a pic with a caption. They were showing love, but they was capping. This is way bigger than rapping. The word show me where I am lacking. Poet assassin, dripping and splashing, lyrically spazzing off of the master. That money in your bank don't keep you safe, yeah. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, hey. The power isn't yours if it was given, yeah. They tried to block us out, we in the building. That money in your bank don't keep you safe, hey. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, yeah. The power isn't yours if it was given. They tried to block us out, we in the building. That money in your bank don't keep you safe. That burning in your whip don't keep you straight, yeah. That money in your bank don't keep you safe, yeah. I said that burning in your whip don't keep you straight, yeah.
Yeah. Give me that hope, give me that light, give me that truth, don't want them lies. Hard to go dumb if you walk at the white. Shouts to the one never left my side. Yeah. Shouts to the one never left my side. The mans can't see with that blink in his eye. Remove that first if your brother arise. Yeah. Not yet a ride, the price is applied. Let the pressure subside. Are you catching the vibe? I ain't hopping on waves, I'm chasing the king. Are you feeling the tide? Hop on the speed and the slide. Slide. Spend some time in them trenches. As we get so fine nutrition. It's Billy James in the mentions. Work. That's a product of my faith. I pray it never take the bait. and become a product of the 8. All the glory go to God. This ain't no facade. Yeah, I feel like I made it. We connected to the greatest. All the glory go to God. This ain't no facade. Yeah, I feel like I made it. Yeah, we connected to the greatest. What you mean? I thought you heard. The world can't hold what got secured. Where did the time go? Said it felt like a blur, but the struggle's not in vain. You can still smile through the rain. Just know every time you feel the pain, just know they're breaking every chain. In his blood, that's what death is slain. Mask on, keep the public safe. Social distance before the virus came. I was in the world, but not of the same. Social distance before the virus came. I was in the world, but not of the same. I was in the world, but not of the same. All the glory go to God. This ain't no facade. Yeah, I feel like I made it. We connected to the greatest. All the glory go to God. This ain't no facade. Yeah, I feel like I made it. Yeah, we connected to the greatest.
Wow, 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 y'all. We are here again for another amazing episode of Let's Get Activated podcast. You got me, your girl, Samantha Leavell, and you got the amazing Billy James up in the building. How are you doing, my brother?
What's up, my sister? How are you? So glad to be here with you tonight.
Oh, so good. You know, they couldn't see us, but I was just vibing out, just feeling spiritually inspired. If I'm sweating, hey, I can't help it. That was a whole vibe.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're so, man, so welcome. I mean, we just played everybody, we played, the building, and we played, the recent single Facade, Can you break those down to us?
Yeah, so the first one, the building is it's just one of the funnest tracks I ever did with me and my friend Matt the Jedi. He's like an amazing artist too, from my area. We're actually like we were like, it was like a snow day. And we were like, yo, let's shoot a video. So we had like that outdoor court scene was right there in downtown Valdez. If you're from the area, you know where that's at. And then the other one is a rec center that they closed down for a while, and we just had the keys to. So we went and just hung out for the day and shot one of the funnest videos I've ever shot. The music is great. It's just about the world trying to block you out sometimes, and you just got to punch those walls down. And so now we in the building. Like it's like the come up story. And so the second song is called Facade. And really, it's really just encapsulated everything that I've been striving towards, like to be walking this walk of faith, and for it to be something that's authentic and something that is truthful, and something that's not just a facade or something I do on Sundays and Wednesdays, but this is something that I'm doing out here in the streets daily. So it's not just a facade. This is something that I'm doing as a full time every single day. We out here grinding to get it.
Man, I love it.
Yeah.
I was fully inspired by both. One thing I got to peep out, people are going to chuckle. I'm like, you're pretty tall. Are you like 6'4" or something?
I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3". And yeah, man, I played ball for pretty much my entire life. Started when I was real little. The significance of that indoor gym, I started playing there when I was just a kid in Little League basketball. And that's like probably one of the first places that I played organized basketball was right there in that gym.
Oh wow. So that's cool. I kind of like how you tied in, the music, the
Yeah.
spirituality, and the sports. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like all three things
Right.
that you love. I think that's great. And then
Yeah.
beside, I was kind of just in the zone with that. And then you got the part, where you're just pulling the mask on. I'm like, okay, we about to get to get lit in here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So like, it's just like a play on things being a facade, and sometimes it's like, if we want to regroup and really get it in with God, we kind of got to take off the mask. We got to kind of, we got to kind of give ourselves up to whatever He's got for us. And sometimes that might feel a little different or awkward, but if it's not really a facade, then it doesn't, then it doesn't take anything out of you to do that.
Right, most
I'm loving the
definitely.
comments. I'm like,
Really,
I'm
yep,
getting tied up with
yep.
reading the comments, and I'm loving it. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely loving it.
No, it's okay. That's what it is. We engage here and let's get activated. It's a positive
Yeah,
vibe, and just seeing these people tap into you. That's what
yeah.
I want. That's
I
the goal.
love this. This is dope.
That's just dope. So we definitely want to know your story. Just how you
Yeah,
started out, just growing up. Now, did you grow up in North Carolina?
yeah. So I'm originally from North Carolina, and basically, I was a sports dude my entire life. I kind of lived, breathed, eat, slept basketball and football my entire life, and once I got to like my later years in college ball, I started to just kind of look outside and see like, yo, is this really what God's got for me? At the time, I wasn't really really concerned with like what He had for me. So I think that I think what really truly changed my life is after me and my wife now, but it was currently my girlfriend. We started going to church together. Shortly after that, we got married and just kind of stuck around the church. But I was very one foot in the church, one foot in the streets. We were still kind of doing our thing outside the walls of the church, and not really living the life like we should have been. And I think that we just kept going. I had a youth pastor reach out to me. He's like, "Hey man, you should come stop by the youth like one night and just come kick it with us." And at first I was like, "Nah, that doesn't really sound like something I'm interested in." But my wife actually encouraged us to go,
Mm-hmm.
and it was something that really changed our lives. We started, being around young people that were living for God, and seeing how it was affecting their relationships, and seeing how it helped them grow. So we kept coming around. We eventually got asked to go to a camp, like a youth camp.
Mm-hmm.
And on that, as a counselor, me and my wife went as counselors, and on that youth trip, I think it was the first time that I had ever got away from the world long enough and away from my busy life and all the distractions that I had. It was the first time that I ever got away to really hear the voice of God. And so I, at the end of this camp, I really gave my everything to God, and He found me in a place that I didn't have to like reach very far. I just had to make a step of commitment. And so that day I recommitted my life to Jesus, and we've been really rocking with it ever since. And times have come where like I have failed so many times, but this is a growing process. It's something that I'm not going to be I'm not going to be average. I don't want my walk with the Lord to be something that's just fly by night, here today and gone tomorrow, or something that you can't see the fruit of that in my life. So yeah, we've been grinding out with Jesus ever since.
I love that. I highly
Yeah,
respect that. And like me, I don't
appreciate that.
even like to like put a label on it as like
Mm.
Christian hip hop. The industry puts all
Hmm.
these labels. Why can't we just call
Right.
it hip hop? Because to me, it's
Yeah,
expression. There's so
for
many
sure.
different subjects. If you want to talk
Mm.
about something positive and God, why
Right.
not? And it's
Yeah.
amazing. Your wordplay is, just amazing. So I want people to kind of remove the label and then just
Yeah.
listen to what you're doing. It's so
Right.
dope.
Yeah, and I appreciate that too. A lot of people, because of the labeling and how I think we just in the way that we are as humans, we want to put things in categories and in different boxes, and sometimes when you do that, you completely miss out on a blessing, or you miss out on something that's great and positive, and something that can really truly speak into your life and give you something that you didn't have before. So it is important to take away the labels. I don't mind being called a gospel, whatever, Christian, whatever. It doesn't offend me, like, because, I am that, but I hope that my art speaks to not just people who are in the church, but the people who are also not in the church. So, yeah, when you box it off like that, sometimes it's like only this group of people is going to listen to you, but my stuff is for everybody. I want everybody to be inspired and encouraged through it. So, yeah, I love that. That's good. That's a great point. Getting me outside the box.
Definitely got to take you outside of the box, and just with all of your versatility, and it's not just rapping going on, you sing as well, which
right.
they'll find out at the end of this on that Lose My Mind. I
right.
couldn't do
yes,
like I said, I couldn't play it now and start crying now, but see, that's when you touch people when they're crying and feeling the music.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's all about. I mean, growing up, like before, like just growing up in your life, were there like certain artists that inspired you, that made you say, hey, I do want to become a lyricist or a singer?
Absolutely. I mean, so many people, so much music, so much endless music, but yeah, just like Outkast was early, and Jay-Z, and nowadays like people like J. Cole, and there's so many people that are doing it on like the Christian or the gospel spectrum that I love and that just like admire so much, like KB and Lecrae and Andy Mineo and those guys, Trip Lee, and I can name like all of them, Swoop, and all these dudes that really just they speak into my life. But but it all started from hip hop, that that was radio and mainstream. That's the things that first really started speaking to me, like DMX and Clips, and all these cats that were like they paved the way for what the sound that you hear today. Nas and Kanye West and all those guys really spoke into me. Yeah.
Most definitely. And then where did the singing take place? Or was that just something you were doing?
Yeah, well, I've always even as a kid, they were like, yo, something special about like, his voice. And so, I used it, but I didn't really use it. So I was in chorus and stuff in school, but never really had like any crazy standout solos or anything like that. So, but I got a little older and started going to that church. And that's when I really convinced myself that I could sing was in front of people, was whenever I was singing solos in church. I had a beautiful man of God that gave me an opportunity, or continues to give me opportunities. And it really, that's something that's really underestimated with a lot of artists is the background in church, and being able to articulate yourself in front of people, and to be able to sing and not just be like a closet in your room singer or a shower singer, somebody that just sings in the shower. But yeah, that's what took me to kind of that next level. And then, being able to perfect that along the way. And then, anytime I get in front of people, it's like, it's always fun to let them know that you can sing. You know what I'm saying? It's it's like, I love showing up as the rapper and then surprise, like surprise. I can sing too, that gives me joy. So, but I still, to this day, I sing in a choir. It's very big, sing right there in the tenor section, so I work on it. It's something that I don't just have and it just sit there on the shelf. It's something that I use every weekend, regardless if it's in front of people or if I'm by myself or in front of a bunch of people or with a bunch of people or a collective. I'm trying to use that part of me a lot.
Got you. Yep. And what is that energy like when you're on stage performing, whether you're at the church or just, at another show?
It is, it's like very contagious. It's something that like, that you can get addicted to, and the way that you use it is everything to me. It does feel very weird at first, like, oh my gosh, all these people are looking at me, but but I always just try to take it back to the reason that I'm doing it, like the why and the reason that I'm standing up here. And it's not necessarily all about me, but I'm trying to direct praise and worship to something else. So So yeah, it definitely is at first was like a kind of a growing curve, something that you don't just immediately have. It's something that, you have to work into. Like any comedian or singer will tell you, you don't just start out like at a place. You have to
Right.
kind of work that way up. Even if you're like you're selling millions and millions of records, you have no stage presence because you've just not done it.
Right.
So sometimes that thing does take a long time, but I always just try to go back to the reason that I'm up there, and it's not always necessarily about me, but something greater.
Wow. And is there like
Yeah.
a favorite performance that you've had so far, or like most memorable?
I've had quite a few that were really amazing. I did a theater in Morganton it was very like it was a very nice show. There was a lot of people there. It was the biggest stage you could have as an artist my size. I've also done the Crawdad Stadium, which is a minor league baseball stadium here in the area. I've done, some big church events and some really cool concerts across the board. Yeah, there's so many that's really stuck out to me, and been able to see people's lives change and be able to see people like really react to my music is, if it's for 5 or if it's for 500 or 5,000, it doesn't really matter as long as we're delivering that same energy to people and they're getting some out of the music,
Exactly. That's important. I always say, even if it's one person in the room,
For
if
sure.
you touch somebody, you touch
Yeah.
them,
It's hard. It's
like
it's
children,
easy.
like, because
Oh,
I know
sorry.
like working with the youth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. We had a
Yes,
little delay.
I was about to
Okay.
say it was easy to it's easy to get caught up in all of that, being on stage and stuff like that. But it's important for me to like stay humble. But then with the kids, man, working with I have my own personal kids that I try to pour into and that I fail miserably sometimes
Mm-hmm.
with, but it's all part of it. It's all part of stumbling and not really knowing the situation and feeling it out and then say how we can grow the next time. But with kids, man, that was the biggest thing with me. When I started working with the youth a while back, it was just seeing how much they cling to somebody that just got a little more knowledge than they do, or just a little further down the road. And I love being that artist, to other artists too, that maybe I've got a few more years in it and maybe not even necessarily more successful, but I just have a little more experience doing it. And so, I love being that person, and I love being able to find those people in my life. I've got men and women in my life that are they're just beasts in every aspect of their life. And they really just, I love what they offer to me as a person. A lot of those people in the section with Ange and B Mill and my brother Sora and Sophie and Gabe and those guys, really just everything to me, and Ivy and just people that make my career in music really, really worth it, and it's dope to see people, really, really gravitate towards it.
Yes,
Yeah.
so definitely, your positive energy, because you just exude positivity. I'm smiling through the interview. You do. I'm smiling. Through the conversation, I'm smiling. People are smiling. So when
Yeah.
you have that positive energy, you're going to attract positive people. And I've had the pleasure of kind of meeting a lot of people in your squad, and they're really great
Right.
people. Very great people.
Absolutely.
How
They're
did
dope
you?
people, man.
Yeah. How did you get connected with them? That.
So it originally started off as, the Clubhouse thing. So we all were kind of like locked down at one point in time. And so as we were all locked down in COVID, there was some things that came available to us through technology. And we were able to get on Clubhouse together. It didn't immediately we weren't the first people to come in contact with each other on Facebook, on Clubhouse, but there was a room called the 808 Farm, and they hosted like a big artist contest, and me and Sophie and Sora and a bunch of the people that are in that room competed in it. We all just kind of gravitated towards each other. My buddy Sora, after the competition, he started a room up. I started just poking my head in there, like, hey, saying what's up, tell some jokes, and then I'd get off. Like I would just go about my life, and then it became something I was doing. Like, oh wait, I'm doing this every single day. Like, I'm going in there every day, and like, oh, it's giving me life. This is something that, and so you don't just like you can't really ever plan those types of relationships with people, but it just kind of happened that way, and I'm so grateful to be in a situation where it's like all the necessary components aligned for us to be right place, right time, and I'm super grateful for it. I've landed just amazing friends over there in that room.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing, friends and people, and then they're little jokesters too, because there's a little, birdie, who needs a stool really bad. She says there's like a favorite line that you say.
I cannot believe she put you up to this.
Yes, she did.
It makes me. I'm in. Bye. I'm gone. No, she really likes the song. She likes this song. I'm gonna just tell you where you can go listen to it. So she really loves this song. It's called "Going Through It." It's on my last album. There's a part right in the middle where it's like, I know you've been going through the most. And so she like has me sing it to people. She's like my mom. Like, she's like, hey, do that thing. Do that one thing. Do that one thing. And just, she shows me off like a zoo exhibit to her friends. And I take offense to it. No, I'm just playing. I don't. I love it. But
look, she's like, you have to say it.
You have to say it.
She's pushing hard in these comments for you to say it.
Yeah, Billy James, Going Through It. Go check that out whenever you get a chance.
Okay, Going Through It, everybody. You have heard it, and then you will know the famous line.
You'll know the famous line.
Right. But Mama Ange is not done yet. She also got another little trick up her sleeve,
What's that?
We also been talking about how dope of a freestyle artist that you are. So, she was hoping that you would drop a freestyle on here for us. Just a little something.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you good. I can hear you good.
Right. So I got these spiritual gifts. Here's mine with a twist. Words create hope, love, passion, and bliss. I spent a lot of hours praying that every heart would get the gist. When I was feeling so alone, that's when God was in the midst. You see, my identity was found in the one that fashioned us. And it doesn't come from things that we participate in. Like when I was a young man, I would introduce myself. Hi, my name is Billy. I play sports and stuff. I got a girl named so-and-so who I think I can trust. But in reality, it was really lust. It wasn't trust. And for me, having a girl at all times was a must. You see, God wasn't the center of life. He was barely a part of it. I spent 10 years of my life thinking I was saved because of it. Because I said some prayer at 12, but then I never turned the page. So it didn't mean anything if there was no physical change. No heart for the lost. No time spent in the word. Just a spiral of sin would leave my destiny to burn. But all things would quickly turn from my wicked of ways. On a mountain when I heard the voice of the Ancient of Days. It was in that time I felt the call to deliver the word. It won't be traditional. Souls might get stirred. In this worship I speak's more important than wings to a bird. So let us bow our heads and pray that spiritual gifts to be heard. So Lord Father, I said we hunger for more. If we're supposed to go, Lord, just open the door. Spirit, pour it down on your temple. Teach us how to do the things that we were really meant to. Teach us how to love as your son did. For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen and amen. And amen and amen.
God. No, that was so incredible. Like, seriously, I love that. That's just an extra. I think that's a gift. That's a gift. That's a gift. I was feeling that. I love it. That was poetry. Hip hop is poetry. Yeah. You did poetry. That, Billy James. Man, I need your poetry book. Can you get like a whole poetry book? Can I get a poetry book in there?
That would be pretty dope, actually. I would hate to write it. But yeah, I love that. That would be sick. A little poetry. What if we did like a poetry song book or something like that? Like you just put out. Yeah, that would be sick. Just like some backing chords, I can do it.
Man,
I'll get right on it.
We're about to get you in a spoken word room or something. I love that. I mean, people still just shooting out the flames on you, you know. And
the book of Billy James.
Hey, boy, got 16 days. Man. That's dope.
Look at Lester in here.
I know. Lester in the building. I just got to meet him, and he's dope too. Now, you know, we got DJ Female in the building. He wanted to know about, you know, tell us about that. Check your fruit.
Yeah, so look at this. I actually have one of the shirts on. You can't really see. Oh yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
It says whosoever abide in me and I in him, he it is that bears good fruit. And that is kind of like the motto of like everything that I do. Is called the name of my merch is called Check Your Fruit. And really it's just about, you know, looking inside, examining yourself. Not necessarily always worried about pointing the fingers, but examine yourself, see what you're missing, you know, check your fruit, whatever you bear in life. Those are the fruit. That's the fruit that you bear, you know. So always keep that, you know, in check. Something that you should keep in check. In the building.
Wow.
What's up,
and then
Ron?
so this merge, yeah, in the building. Yeah, that's City to Greats. So he's definitely tapped into you as well. So check your fruit. And so what like is it what all does a merchandise entail, and where can we get it?
So pretty much how I've done this has been kind of backwards from what the typical artist is doing now. It's just the way that the chips have fell. I have only physical copies, so I've got a massive amount of merch like t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, and things of that nature. The problem is that I only have the physical copies, and I haven't necessarily set up an online store. All those things are coming very, very soon. I've got people that are on top of it. We were kind of waiting for something to run out so we could start a new website and a new deal. So we're in the process of making all that stuff online. But if anybody that's local, or you have a chance to see me in person or run up on me, or if you just want to shoot me a DM and be like, yo, what do you have available? I would love to shoot it to you in the mail. I do that all across the United States. I got people that rock with me. So I've sent it across the states before. So if there's anything that that you're interested in as far as t-shirts and designs for hoodies and hats and things of that nature, then yeah, just hit me. And it's coming very soon on my website. But as of right now, if you want to see what I've got available, you just hit me in a DM.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I got this whole room right over here. I got this whole room right over here that's got t-shirts and massive amounts of all kinds of stuff, bracelets and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh wow! So you got a little bit of everything. See, I'm gonna have to get in on that. Check your fruit, because I support brands. I will definitely be happy to rock it and make it real for you. That's what we do.
Let's go. I like that idea. That's a great idea.
Let's go. And then
yes, ma'am.
and you're being a father yourself, you know, what's it like, you know, being a father and then balancing, the industry side of things.
Yeah, it's something that you have to do carefully. You know, I don't think that you don't want to expose them to anything too crazy at this age. But I think that I think that the key is being able to have a product that your kids can be proud of and sing around their friends, and it not be something that is degrading, or that you have to get around not saying certain things, or not even like a lot of the kids that whenever they, early on when they're singing songs that they hear on the radio, they don't really know what they're saying. So, as an artist, I think the best way for me to navigate all that is I always put out a message that I wouldn't mind my kids rocking with. And that might sound like kind of corny, but at the same time, it's something that's near and dear to my heart. Like, you don't know the feeling of like, being an artist and having your kids be able to sing your joints to their other friends. And it's not something that you got to cover up or feel like weird about, So yeah, I think that's something that a lot of artists probably do miss, especially a lot of industry artists. Like, they would say that they don't even want their kids singing their songs. And I'm like, that just doesn't make sense. Right. Like you're like a top of the world artist, but your kids can't sing your songs without without there being some kind of weird feeling in the room, So yeah,
Right.
I think that's something interesting that I don't think about often, but that's a really cool thought, is that, that's something that I get to indulge in, and, my kids get to be fans of mine, and their friends too. So yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like they can vibe with it. I agree with just what
Yeah.
August Nicole just said, and even my little girl, she's 9. She was rocking to that
Mhm.
facade. I had it playing
Good.
and she's like,
Good.
Mom, can I hear the whole song? I'm like, sure. And
Yeah,
so
sure. Yeah.
so that's great when you have, these young, impressionable minds that they're
Right.
gravitating towards that. They
For
need
sure.
that.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I needed it when I was young, and I may have missed that. There's things that, I went down a crazy road for a lot of years. And, I think about, if I'd have had somebody to look up to that was, that made me realize that it didn't always have to look like that, that it could look like something else. Then it could have made a really big difference in my life for some years there. So,
Do you
yeah.
think like those like past maybe struggles or things you went through, do you think that helped you, like made you stronger and just
Oh my
build you
gosh.
up?
Yeah, for sure. Like I would take none of that back at all. To be honest with you, everything that I've went through in my life has been things that have made me to the person that I am now. And I know that might sound cliche,
No.
but that's really exactly how it happens. Sometimes we don't understand when we're standing in the storm, but what that storm is going to be able to produce in our life later on. Even nature tells us that things don't grow if there's no dark. Like
Right.
unless that seed's under the ground where it's not exposed to the elements, it doesn't get to where it needs to be going. So to produce growth, sometimes there has to be darkness, and when you come out of that, that's when you find true growth.
Right. That's
Yeah,
a
for sure.
fact. That's
Hmm.
and have you like from experiencing some of those things, are you able to kind of recognize that like if someone else that you can tell off the bats maybe
Mm,
going through it, makes it easier for you
yeah.
to give them advice?
That you're really good at this. You know that you're really good at
Oh,
this, asking questions, things like
oh,
you set me up for like the kill. Yeah, for
thank you. I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
That is it's something that's kind of how it happens. Is like you go through things, and then you might be able to have discernment on like, oh man, he's probably dealing with something. The reason he's lashing out is probably because he has something going on, or vice versa. With I've seen it manifests itself a lot of different ways, but sometimes it's like you can notice those things in people because you yourself has dealt with them, or you've seen a friend deal with it, or something like that. We learn a lot of things by experience, and those are sometimes the best ministries. Like me and my pastor homie, we always talk about the ministry of scars. You don't really know how to even deal with that person unless you have the same scars that they have. And so yeah, I think that's important that we wear our scars. And we don't have to live in the past, but we also can look back at the past and be like, I didn't have to go down that way, and then you could relay that to the next person. So yeah, that's phenomenal that you
Wow,
would ask
oh no, that's
that.
it just that's just what you're doing. I'm just seeing it,
Yeah.
so I'm like I'm seeing like your inspiration and just being
Mm,
inspiring and just so
yeah.
kind, and it just
Mm,
so when you go through stuff, sometimes it's kind of like I'm glad I went through that, so then I can guide
for
you or
sure.
the next person to do better.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
do you ever like share like your music like with your like the church, like the music that you're
Mm,
doing? Do they ever rock with
absolutely.
that? I
Yeah, for
want to
sure. And
know.
that's the cool thing about where we're at as a faith group, as Christians nowadays. It's like I think we've got to a point, or we're getting to a point where it doesn't always have to look like this, like this one particular thing. He doesn't have to dress in a suit. I'm
Right.
usually rocking something very similar when I go into church nowadays. It's just I think that the um, the biggest thing is where a man's heart is, and how it is postured to God. And so I think whenever they realize who I am, and they do, because we've been in each other's lives for a long time, people in my home church. So I think that that they know my heart. And so because they know my heart, they know that my music is not far from that. And so, yeah, a lot of those people are some of my biggest fans. A lot of those people are some of my absolute biggest supporters are the people that are inside my church that see me come and worshiping and give my time and efforts to that place, you know? So yeah, there's some of my biggest fans, some of my biggest supporters right inside those walls. Yeah. Cause I know I'm doing it for the kingdom. It's not something that's just I'm benefit myself. This is something that I'm hoping that benefits the next generation too.
Wow. I love that there, you know, with the open mind, because, you know, I've experienced some things in the past when maybe some
For
churches
sure.
weren't as, you know, open-minded, like they heard the beats and this was like, well, this is not our normal thing. So they weren't accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad.
I'll tell you, I'm speaking only of my home church when I say that they're supportive and loving and caring, and they are supportive and everything else you could possibly be. But there are some churches and some church people that will hurt you is just as bad as the people right there in them bars will.
Yes.
And that's happened along the way too. You know, people just not really knowing what to expect when you show up and do your thing. They're like, oh, that's not very godly. What? Because my words are, you know, not this far apart. They're more together, and there's more of them. And I'm speaking a story like you have to explain that to me. And I think that's sometimes, you know, the reason the stance we have to have as believers is like, you know, I'm standing, this is my truth, and I can explain it to you if you need me to. But the whole, like, you know, you just go ahead and categorizing people as something that they're not before, you know, you ever even hear their heart or understand their story. Just because it might not be your language doesn't mean that it's not somebody's language. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people that fall into that category for sure. But you know, that's kind of my goal too, is to show people that there is another way, and it can look another way to people, you know.
Most definitely. Just, you know, I like to come as you are, people knowing your heart. And, you know, if they open their minds, you know, there's so many gems, like to the ones that don't open their minds, you know, they're missing out. They really are.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you.
Right.
I agree with you.
And then for you, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Wow. It's a loaded question.
It gets deep and activated.
In there. The legacy I want to leave. I want people to know the God I serve. I want people to know that He can change folks. I also want them to know that He died and was resurrected on the third day for their sins. You know, there's just so much that I want to leave, but I want to leave people, you know, when people think about Billy James, I want them to think of you know, being a true believer. I want them to think that, you know, I was a great father, a great husband, those types of things. Now, my music, when my music is brought up, I really just want it to be something that elevates people, encourages people, you know, when they're down. I want it to have that kind of lasting effect. Not necessarily, and my people might beat me for this, but I'm not necessarily looking for the most replay value in my songs. I'm looking to touch people. I want people, when they hear my stuff, I want them to be like, wow, that really spoke to me. So I don't necessarily care about being lined up beside the biggest artist in the world. I mean, that'd be great and all. I hope that it has that kind of impact, but it's not the necessary aim. That's not exactly what I'm going for. I want to touch people, and I want my music to be felt as much as it's heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing legacy. But, you know, you kind of going to have no choice dealing with all of us, you know, for us to be just pushing you.
Let's go.
You know, just getting you out there, like, you know, the legendary Cool Rock Ski, the Fat Boys, he actually sent me a question for you because he tapped into you. So he's big on battle rapping. So he wants to know, like, do you enjoy battle rapping? And there's two artists in particular.
Love it. Hold on. Before he asks, can I do it? Can I do the honors? You're going to ask me about A-Ward and Loso?
Yes, you got it. Yes.
Bump, bump. My absolute two favorite. A Ward just a little bit more than Loso, but both of those gentlemen are top tier, big time battle rappers that I'm such a fan of. Like I wanted to try to get A Ward or Loso or both of them on a song at some point in time. You know, the battle rap thing is great, but both of those dudes make fantastic music too. So yeah, man, you tell him I know what's up.
Yes, he's gonna love that answer. He was
Yeah.
so excited. He's like, "Can you please ask him this?" I'm like, "Of course." You know, so that's dope. You know,
Love
and
A
maybe
Ward, love Loso.
and maybe if they watching, you know, they link all of that up, get you guys to doing
Yeah,
something.
man. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so dope. Both of those dudes, and they're with the group called the Four Horsemen. It's actually four of them: Street Hymns
Mm-hmm.
and the Saga are all four of those guys. That's what it's supposed to look like. We're in every avenue you could possibly think. You know, we're in every facet of life that you can imagine. We even in battle rap, and we're killing it over there. So yeah.
Yes. Yep. And it's a way, you can positive battle rap without, all this, you know what I'm saying? Or be
Yeah.
positive without
Well,
all
them
this.
dudes come at your neck. Them dudes
Yes.
is like they are fearless. I mean, vicious
Yes.
with the bars, but it's something that's like there's always the silver lining is always redemption. And like, yeah,
Yes.
you might have been a bum for 35 years, but you still got a few to get it right. That's kind of the aim with most of it. And I love that. I love that the way that it encourages and the way that it works is like, ooh, that stung a little bit, but why did it sting? It's because they're telling me so much truth and so much relevance. Like all that stuff is just so top tier. Those bars it's a lot harder to come. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot harder to produce bars whenever you're trying to come from a place where like nobody's ever been before. And like the Christian battle rap scene, it just hasn't existed. Like there's been nobody in that space doing it like that. So all those bars are coming from a place of like somebody really had to put pen to paper. Like this is not
Yes.
recycled or something that you've heard or a scheme that you've heard. These are all coming from a real place. That's why I really enjoy both of those dudes.
It's
Yep.
amazing. And you're, you're on that level, because I have to ask
Oh
you,
man,
man,
thank you.
what gets you to that place just to start writing and just putting the words together?
Yeah, so I was actually doing music prior to my 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 spiritual like rebirth.
Right.
Before that happened, I was doing music, and I was doing it with a group that we were pretty successful in our area. Doing club shows and things of that nature, and we having ciphers and actually making like full length mixtapes and things of that nature. So I mean, I was doing it prior to, and so whenever I rededicated my life, it was like almost felt like rap had to go.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a few months that went by, like I really didn't write anything, just because I almost associated it in my mind as something that was bad and of the world. And so some months went by, and then I'm listening to like an empty beat one day, like an instrumental beat, and I'm just like, yeah, really not knowing how to feel about it.
Yes.
And it was very clear to me that God's like, yo, I give you this gift, and I give it to you for a reason, and that reason is to uplift me, is to worship me. And so that was kind of, and I sat down at least that next day or the day after or something like that, and I wrote my first like full length rap, first Christian, spiritual, faith based like rap. Still one of my favorites. Every once in a while, I just throw that out there. Like we would be at a live show, and I just play it for people because some people like still love they still love like my very first one. It's called Road Design. It's not out anywhere, but it's still like one of the ones that impact people the most. It's a very like I wrote that story in the midst of like the whole like my whole transition. So.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then, the way that I go about it now is, if I stay connected to the source, if I stay connected and really dialed into what God's got for me, and it doesn't mean like shutting off the world, but
Right.
Stay focused on the things that He's got. Stay in my word, stay in prayer, stay around people that are really giving me something positive in my life. Being in a section, having a long time with my wife and my kids and stuff like that. All those things produce great things out of me. So it's like, you want good product, you got to live good life. And sometimes that's how the industry gets it messed up. They can live so much life that it sounds like everybody else's life. And so, if you're true to yourself and you're actually talented and God really put something in you, then that's the best way to get it out of you, is to just live good life. And so, that's kind of my process now. And I've got some amazing people around me that do music and are capable of putting together just massive compositions for me as far as the music is concerned. And I love those dudes. Some of my favorite people in the world are my producers, and so I keep those dudes close, and they give me the room to be able to do my thing. So, yep.
That's amazing. Staying true to yourself, going with the right people, you can't go wrong at all. And,
right.
We do have like a new release coming out that I've got the pleasure of rocking out already in Clubhouse. We got that slap. Can you tell us a little bit about Slap?
So the first dude I ever did a song with is the feature on this song, Slap. His name is Chris John. So that's Billy James and Chris John, and we're dropping on the 26th. And if you want to get that prior to the day, you just go to the pre-save right there in my Instagram bio, It's Billy James. You just go right there in that, and at the first top one, it'll say pre-save the new single Slap, and go get that, man. It's a dance joint. Like it's a bop. Like it's something that's not. It doesn't sound like, it don't always have to be storytelling Billy James.
Right.
And so that's what this is. We had fun on it, but we also, kept it very positive and definitely light. It's a light track. It's something that's very fun and something you can dance to, and it's still got a great message.
Yes.
It's something for Carolina too. That's something for Carolina. It's something from my home. Yeah. This is going to be a fun one.
I love it. You representing it well. And people, if y'all are scrolling, I do got his IG and the website up too. But I pre-saved myself too. So
beautiful. Thank you so much. I thank you guys.
And I will be buying it too. I want to add people, please buy the song. Don't just stream. Please buy.
Don't be a cheapskate.
Right.
Go buy my joint.
Go buy that joint,
Yeah.
Buy it or you're gonna get slapped. No, I'm playing.
Yeah. A slap's coming for you. If you don't buy the slap, slap's coming for you.
Bam, like bam.
Yep.
And so what can we look forward to, future wise, near future, far future for Billy James?
Yeah, I just I continue to elevate. I think that we're just going to continue to push and see whose ears we can get this music into. I'm confident in it. I'm confident in what the Lord's going to do with it. And we're just going to continue to elevate, man. You're going to continue to see Billy James on a lot of things. I love that I have like a little cheat sheet right over here. I got collabs coming. Yeah. With my buddy Sora from the UK.
Yes.
Should be out by I think we're pushing for January. We got a song called Dynamite together, which is just another way to express myself at doing these collabs with people and just being able to step into another artist's world. It's so fun for me, and it's just another way for me to kind of give, a way for me to be able to just get around some different people and to just get around a different scene. So I'm cool with it. I'm excited about what's going on, in that area too. If you do want to work with me, or you want to a feature or anything of that nature, some hooks I can sing, or we can do verses or whatever, you just contact B Mill or Ange in the on IG or wherever you can find them at on IG, and then just let's link. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, they're great. They're great, awesome people to work with. Look, she's pushing our release. So you got good people pushing you. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. I'm just so excited, And yes, you do sing. So before we go, like I said, they're gonna hear that "Loose My Mind."
Let's go.
But but what shout outs do you want to give, and then also like what kind of lasting impression, like as far as advice, would you like to give to all these artists, trying to come out there?
Yeah. Let's go with the advice that I have for people is to stay humble, is to stay teachable, stay wanting to grow. Don't ever think you've got it all figured out, because as soon as you do, you realize that you don't. And so knowing that you don't know it all is something really great to know, because when you stop growing, you kind of die. And so let's just stay humble, stay grounded, keep working. Shout outs to all the section, B Mill, Ange, Sora, all my homies in the section, everybody from home, my producer, JP, my drummer. I want to shout out my drummer. We got a big weekend this weekend, Anthony Taylor. So we got a big weekend. We got a show coming up tomorrow night at Fam Church. We got 2 appearances on Sunday. One in Drexel, one in Statesville, North Carolina. So we're all over the place this weekend. All my family, my wife, my lovely wife Sierra, my 2 kids, Kylie and Jonah, and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, in my home church of Pleasant Ridge. So, yep. Love you guys.
Incredible shout outs. And hopefully we can see the footage of the performances that you got going on, because I would love to see that.
Yep. We're definitely IG live in tomorrow's for sure. And probably Sundays also. It's kind of weird when you do. It's kind of weird when you have when you do an IG live in a church service. You're like trying not to be a nuisance with it. And this is not really like it's just kind of weird. But tomorrow, absolutely tomorrow, for sure, we'll IG live it. Can't wait for y'all to be there.
Can't wait. I'll definitely be in there, popping in, commenting or whatever. Doing our fire emojis as we're doing. You got Ice Mike and everybody in the building too.
Ice Mike. Yeah.
It's so dope. I love this. This year was definitely just a pleasure having you on. You brought some extra inspiration into my life as well. Anything positive, you're welcome. I gravitate to, and shout out to everybody here that's been in the comments tuning in too, man.
My people, man. My people in here today.
It's just some dope people, and we, like everybody, we're all over Facebook pages. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're going to be up on the IG, so we're definitely going to give you much deserved, shine and, love,
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. And then, of course, but before we get into that, Loose My Mind, is there any, breakdown of the song or anything you want to say about it?
Yeah, sure. This song is called Loose My Mind. And a lot of times life feels like it's overbearing. It weighs you down. Sometimes it feels like it even ties you down or chains you to something, or anxiety has a way of crippling you, and depression has a way of kind of discouraging you along the way. All those things just kind of feel like extra weight that we don't need. And so the only way to do that is to kind of give it all over to God. So this song is called Loose My Mind. It's very near and dear to me. I put it out during the lockdown here in the States. And let's go.
Let's go. Again, it was a pleasure having you all tap in the Let's Get Activated podcast. We're going to end it with, oh my gosh, you're so welcome. I'm humbled to have you, and we'll continue connecting and networking together. You have my 100% support for sure.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No
Let's go.
problem. No problem. So let's go. Let's rock out to this, y'all. Grab your tissues. It's deep.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Loose my mind, got a tight grip on the brother. The world getting harder to shake. There's a war going on in the minds of the kids. And look at all the things on their plate. Loose my mind, go faster this love. So far there is too much at stake. I put my life in your hands and my trust in your word. So far there is too much at stake. Loose my mind, got a tight grip on the brother. The world getting harder to shake. There's a war going on in the minds of the kids. And look at all the things on their plate. Loose my mind. Go faster this love, so far there is too much. I put my life in your hands and my in your word. Lose my mind. Hey. Lose my mind.
Ask you, please, Lord, lead me.
Lose my mind. Yeah.
Please, Lord, lead me.
How much more can I take? How much more can he handle? The weight is too much to stand with. My attempt at it is a scandal. If the flood comes, put my floaties on. Always gave me everything I need. I forgot the road we were going on. Lord, shepherd me. Help me be more like my son. Then that's the faith I really need. Cause if Papa said that he got him, best believe that we gon' believe. So why did I forget your promise? Think failure was part of the process. We learn it, we go from the falling. These strawberries are the reminder. Think back on my foolish decisions. Were they even mine to begin with? Or was it just the will of the Father? A path that was cut through the wilderness. Been about my Father's business, strong witness in the dark. No, I missed my mark more than a few times, but you gave it up and you paid it up. So loose my mind, got a tight grip on the brother. The world getting harder to shake. There's a war going on in the minds of the kids. And look at all the things on their plate. Loose my mind. Go faster this love. To far there is too much at stake. I put my life in your hands and my trust in your word. To far there is too much at stake. Loose my mind. Got a tight grip on the brother. The world getting harder to shake. There's a war going on in the minds of the kids. And look at all the things on their plate. Loose my mind. Go faster this love. To far there is too much at stake. I put my life in your hands and my trust in your word. Lose my mind.
I hear you calling.
Lose my mind.
Ask you, please, Lord, lead me.
Lose my mind.
I hear them talking.
Yeah.
Ask you, please, Lord, lead me.
Lose my mind.
I hear you calling.
Lose my mind.
Ask you, please, Lord, lead me.
Lose my mind.
I hear them talking.
Yeah.
Ask you, please, Lord, lead me.
Break these walls down, I'm sorry that I even built them. It's broken places that grace can wiggle into. I know you've been hurt, and these scars are a reminder that there's healing in the power of Jesus Christ the Messiah. Tongue of fire, I bless the block now. Holy Spirit, break down, release the souls from lockdown. Let us worship with truth, let the heavens fall down. Lord, inhabit this place and push the darkness away. When they hear my words, I hope they see your face. I pray revival to begin in this place. So why if I can also start with a spark? So play your part. I hope today's a day, change your heart. Yeah. I hope today's a day, change your heart. Why if I can often start with a spark? So play your part. I hope today's a day, change your heart. I hope today's a day, change your heart. Loose my mind.